Kyle, stop beating
My
the
my
fucking thing.
cat is half sitting on my keyboard. She's going to keep hitting F1. I'm going to keep opening help windows.
Greetings, comrades. Welcome to stream about Death of Stalin.
My God, stop.
And demonetized.
Wow.
Good
And
evening,
today
everyone.
I wish to talk about movies. Yes, it's very good movie. Anyway, hi guys, hi everyone, welcome. It has been more than a while because my computer offed itself. Anyway, I have been transformed into an otter, and I utterly adorable.
Suka bliat.
I have been making that joke far too much. I am sorry. Anyway, so today we're going to be talking about the 2017 movie that we all watched last night, The Death of Stalin. So I'm going to start with Farv, the man here who's part Russian and actually kind of looks a tad like a younger Stalin.
Oh, fuck right off. Don't.
Good job we didn't say Beria, because...
Oh, God, no. There's nothing that looks like Beria.
Actually, Beria's son really looked like Beria.
Yeah, that's kind of sad.
Oh, you're like, who? Which one?
Look, Beria was so butt ugly, the only way he was getting laid was the way he was doing it.
Yeah. Actually, he was married.
Yeah, by... You know how that would work in the Soviet Russia.
Well, yes. So, let me just pull up some historical information.
I would like to forward this, by the way, with the fact that, as we discussed when we watched the movie's not 100% historically accurate by any measure.
It is really fun.
But it is taking shots at historical events.
It is a good interpretation. It's also banned in
Russia,
and I think it's Kazakhstan as well.
Yeah, what I believe is it was banned at the time, obviously, of the Soviet Union. And I just don't think they ever bothered to unban it, because after that many years, what the fuck would be the point?
It was
This
created
movie
in
came out in
2017.
2017.
Yeah, the Soviet Union died in, in like 1990.
Yes, but there was a thing dating back to the Soviet Union where a lot of anti-Soviet films were just banned, like, blanket-wise. And I don't know if that it was ever actually officially amended. I haven't bothered to look it up.
Well, yeah, but there's also a lot of those old... And I was bringing this up, and Farb, you might know a bit, like, generally... Why did Stalin never just crown himself?
It was never really explained. I think it was because they were pushing the communist thing, the socialism thing, so hard that were he to declare himself king, it would have probably caused something of a social upheaval. Because if you remember, there used to be a czar.
Yes.
And then communism happened. If he were to declare himself king, that would have done immense damage to the social construct they were trying to build.
I thought the communists came after the Bolsheviks.
That's my point, though. There had already been a king in Russia. If he were to crown himself king, I think it would have caused massive damage to a system that was already deeply fucking flawed.
And there would have been enough Imperials alive if he did that they would have installed King Michael, who was still alive at that stage.
That and the fact that Stalin was a very well, it's not that he was weird, it's that the man was kind of slowly going insane with paranoia.
Oh, yeah. Like, so there's a scene in the movie. It starts off in, the 10th of March 1953, when at a music concert. The music concert is aired by Radio Moscow, right? And it is fucking hilarious, because they finish up and they don't have it live. Like, I mean, it's live, but they
didn't record it. Yeah.
But Stalin turned around and was like, I want to get this recorded. I want a recording of this. But the funny thing about it is, it'll be in 17 minutes. And they literally have to say 17 minutes from when they picked up the phone or when they put down the phone. Which is it? It was like that precise.
It's because the slightest thing could legitimately back then get you put on a fucking list.
Everyone had a list.
If Stalin so much as thought you blinked the wrong way, you could end up on a list.
one of the lists, they had multiple scenes at the beginning. Kill them both, but make sure she goes in front of him. Uh, do them, and them.
Where he said to kill the priest in his own church. There was that one too.
Yeah, that was
Yep.
leave him in his font.
Yep.
And
Put him in the pulpit.
Yep.
in the pulpit, and I'll leave the rest up to you. And they just headed off. Like, Jesus Christ.
And that was
What?
the thing with the Presidium, even during Stalin's tenure, we'll say,
Yeah.
and after, the Presidium were constantly just fucking with things. Everyone was trying to claw the way to the top, which is the problem with socialism, honestly, when you get to the top, is because everyone else is just fucked in socialism. It's the guys at the top that are actively clawing each other's fucking eyes out and stabbing each other in the back because everybody wants to be the guy in charge. Because all socialism is meant to do is to feed the guy at the top.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was living in the... And what I never get deep is he had this bedroom down the hall. But yet, showing you his paranoia, he had a bed in his office.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you look at it, it goes to show you that Stalin, what everyone saw versus the real Stalin. Everyone saw bare bones office, carpet painting of Russia, bare bones bed, and a lamp beside
And
the
two
bed.
guards on the door at all times.
Uh-huh. Down the hall was a big, huge, like, really plush bed that he slept in with it embroidered pillows and everything like that. And you're like, oh, so that's the real Stalin. He was not as big as him in it. Which is, going for someone who hated America so much, he did love cowboy movies. He loved, like, John Wayne movies. He loved, a load of the big stars of today.
Stalin was kind of the epitome of rules for thee and not for me.
Yes.
That still goes on now. I mean,
Oh, absolutely.
do you remember it was what was it? Kim Jong Il kidnapped a director and forced him to teach him how to direct movies.
Yup.
Yeah.
She's actually back in Japan, by the way.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
With all her fingers still attached, hopefully.
Yeah.
Suddenly, she also arrived with a baby.
Was it hers?
She arrived with a baby. That's all we're told. She arrived with a baby. She had a baby that she was holding very close, and
Well,
she
let's not get into that
Anyway,
set of weeds.
So now, I have to say that the pianist whose name. So I'm gonna have to look up the cast name because I'm not good at Russian names.
It was, well, her first name's Maria. You can just use that one.
Hold on. Maria Veneminovia.
You want to type it out for me in Discord?
I'm going to just copy and paste it.
Do whatever you need to.
And then
Let me see if I have any better luck with this.
do a little Russian accent.
I'll do my best over the sir.
Yudina.
Maria Veniaminovna Yudina.
Yeah, bless you.
No. Stop that.
I remember there being a guard called Sergei. I can
Oh,
pronounce that?
you mean you didn't remember Slimanov?
Slimanov, make sure you're there when we get back.
Yeah. So she was the lead pianist for Radio Moscow.
Played by an actual person of that general descent, Olga Kurilenko, who is fucking gorgeous, by the way.
Oh god, that dress she had her on did all the compliments. But
She was in Quantum of Solace with, the James Bond movie that was pretty
never
terrible.
seen any James Bond
Yes.
movies.
You're not missing.
Yeah, the new ones are terrible anyway, so.
She was also in Thunderbolts, so we won't hold that against her.
But here's something I also do, like, because a lot of the USSR lifestyle, I wonder, these people were clearly rich. They were clearly, like, it's like, how did they get that?
There were a handful of people who were. Well, you saw when she refused to play the amount of money she asked for.
23,000 rubles.
Yeah, which in that economy.
Yeah.
And the thing is, too, there were high-profile people in Soviet Russia. It's just they were a very, very small niche, And as you saw by the amount of doctors and composers who got...
Yeah.
You had to be
Yeah.
very careful what you said and did when you were higher on the food chain because you were getting looked at even harder than the normal people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But so she wrote a letter to Stalin, being like, "You monster!" Like I'm paraphrasing. She's like, "You monster! May God have forgiveness on her soul."
I
for what
pray
you did."
every day for your death.
Yeah.
And it came fair fast because during that that actually happened in 44, the real one. So like the condensed time, it looks like it's a few days, but some of the stuff happened over years. And it's absolutely, utterly astounding to me. Sorry, I'll stop it. That she got away with it.
Her timing was the only thing that saved
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
That's right.
And if there's any truth to how things went, and because it's very dubious, because records not so great at that time, but if there's any truth to how it went down, she did it just as basically Stalin died, and then the Presidium went into full chaos mode, with everyone
Yeah.
trying to position themselves at the head of the table, and the rumor the rumor being that Beria found out that there was a connection between her and Nikita Khrushchev, and he was planning to exploit it, but Khrushchev turned things around on Beria before that could actually get turned.
Yeah.
And post the whole issue with Beria, Khrushchev was in power. So
Yeah.
that's probably the only thing that saved her.
Beria, like, there's a scene where you think all the lads are a bunch of like boys, a bunch of friends, like just hanging out, but they're not. Most of them hated each other. Like,
It's hard to have friends when you're in the top rung of a socialist circle, because you have to know in the back of your mind that any one of them could be looking to get you out of the way.
exactly.
Because that's just how the system works. And the Presidium was a perfect bad example of how that worked.
Look at Molotov. Molotov, he was like the foreign secretary of the.
Are you talking about Malenkov or Molotov?
Molotov.
Okay. The one who got
Molotov.
his name on the list.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. First
What
thing.
for? Because he annoyed Stalin. That's it. One night.
And it's the casual nature of how they treated it too. If you remember, they come out of Stalin's mansion, and they're all talking, and as they're walking by, Beria's like, "Goodbye." He's like, "Goodbye forever," and everybody kind of stops. He's like, on
Yeah.
the list. He's like, "It would be so much easier if they both just drove into the river."
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, but the thing is, Beria reveled in this. This movie, I know, I said it to Farv, but I still say this movie's more about the death of Beria than it is about the death of Stalin.
It is, and it's meant to show the aftermath, the effect and the aftermath of Stalin's death, because the men behind him were just as bad as he was.
Yeah.
I mean, if
Yeah.
you look at Zhukov alone, the things that Zhukov was involved in were atrocious, horrific things that the
If
Red
any of
Army
them
did.
Could have killed Stalin without getting found out. They would have.
Absolutely. And that's why the Presidium was built the way it was. It was built specifically to have these men spending so much time at each other's throat and watching each other, so that Stalin had, in his mind, less to worry about from them because they were too busy looking to see if they were getting a knife in their back.
Right.
Yeah. But okay, so Stalin collapses, and the guards outside of his door just like, and the other guard just like, "Do you want to get us killed? Just shut up and stand there."
I believe he's like, "Should we go check?" And he's like, "Should you shut the fuck up before you get us both killed?"
Yeah, and they do. Which the thing is, that really happened in real life. When Stalin collapsed, they were too scared by Stalin's orders of "don't come in," that they left him there. I don't think it was overnight. I think it was a bit longer than that.
And part of the nature of the whole black comedy, this is the absolute stage show that takes place when they find him in the room the next morning.
Oh,
When the members of Presidium. It's like the fact that Beria gets in first, because of course he does. He's immediately rifling through everything, finding things, burning things, hiding whatever he can use to his advantage.
my files,
and then,
my files, or else
and then, or I'll gouge out your eyes one at a time so you can watch it happen. And so he sits himself at the frickin', he sits himself on the couch like he wasn't doing anything. And then they all come in and they all have their own individual little breakdown over the death of their glorious fucking beloved leader. And it's worse with some of them, you know.
Oh, Stalin.
You can see some of them are so bad. They're hamming it up so fucking badly.
America's just there like, oh, yeah.
It's like that moment when that moment when the three of them are doing that thing, and I pointed out, if you watch Beria in the background, just his eye-rolling reaction to how these two are acting about, like, Stalin dying.
Yeah.
If you listen to the conversation, if you listen to the conversations they have, you know, pretty much most of the way through the movie, you can see it's, you know, they try to talk truthfully, then they have a tonal shift where they suddenly say, Stalin was the greatest thing that ever happened, and they look around almost as if they know at all times they're being recorded.
Yep.
And there's a microphone hidden somewhere, so they're shouting to the microphone to prove
like
they're not a traitor.
When they brought Maria into the office and they were grilling her, and she's like, what did you say? Because she started playing their paranoia against them immediately. Yes. And she's like, oh, I hope this room isn't bugged.
And, like, someone just starts talking to them. Yes, I love Stalin. He has got a great ear. Two greatest ear. The greatest ear in all of the Union.
Very sharp ears.
Two sharp ears. Like, fucking. It's hilarious. And then, like, when everyone walks in, they're all like, you're all coming in with the most fucking pamby-ass, oh, Stalin, mayor of Russia.
And the problem, one of the foremost problems too was Molotov, because if you look at Molotov, he's what a lot of people who know enough social would call the true believers.
Yes, he was a He was die hard.
Exactly. He was so wrapped up in this to the point that even Beria was criticizing him about the things he was saying about his own wife, because he was so embedded in the system that had declared his wife was a traitor.
Yes.
That when Beria brought his wife back purely for political reasons, Molotov was still talking behind her back about how horrible and traitorous she was.
Oh yeah, in real life, when it inaccuracies in the movie, in real life, Beria was absolutely devoted to his wife. Never gave up on her, and everything.
You mean Beria or a Molotov?
Molotov.
Okay.
And whenever Molotov was around Barry, he'd be like, oh, is there anything I can get for you? Now, this is his birthday party, I believe. Maybe a year after Stalin. And he said, is there anything I can get you? And he said, Paulina. And a week later, Paulina shows up.
Yeah, like I said, there are obvious, there are obvious errors. And I'm not sure if some of them weren't deliberate just to play up the whole comedy element, Yeah.
Now, I don't know how true this is, but people have said that if you go into the older parts of Russia today, right, and you're a construction worker, that people are still finding Soviet-era bugging devices all over the place.
Oh, that wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. Like I said, Stalin was a man who lived as long as he did, partially through immense paranoia.
Yeah. Like, someone, when they gave him when she put the note into the record, they turned around and they said, the delay will be noted. That delay in handing it to them is noted. Then, when Beria gets the call that Stalin is sick, how sick? Sick? And he's like, okay. And he goes, here, what's your name? He says, Slimanov. Okay.
Yeah, and it was because the man didn't immediately repeat the order that he gave him, that he just decided he was going to get interrogated and removed.
Oh yeah,
because Beria was very power hungry, very petty.
Oh,
if records are at all to be believed.
Well,
like you said, he reveled in in executing these lists and conducting a lot of Stalin's dirty work, because by extension, with the power he was given, it let him conduct his own dirty deeds, just using these lists.
Which shows at the end, but we'll talk about his actions at the end. Like, because just giving the head a good bit, he's there and he's all throughout the movie, he's like, oh, you little cute thing, like, put her in the cage, like, would you like a drink? Like, to the girl he's about to rape, and then at the end, don't shoot me, please, don't shoot me.
Oh, yeah. He's ruthless until there's 2 points in the movie where you see him crack.
Yeah.
And it's the point where they've all confronted him, and he grabs the papers from his guard and starts waving them around, and, like, almost panically reminding everyone that he has information about all of them.
Absolutely,
and then the moment at the end where he knows they're about to actually execute him, and he starts begging them not to hurt him.
Yeah, but so they then start giving everyone, after Stalin is dead, they then commit a quorum, which is a shit show.
Oh, of course it is.
But okay, so we see Vasily Stalin, right? And he's there, and he's looking at all these shit hockey players, and they're like, well...
How bad is it that Vasily,
yeah,
Stalin's own son, is so panicked by the idea that his father might find out that hockey team died in a plane crash, that he was desperately trying to replace them before his father found out?
So, Vasily and Stalin desperately hated each other. Vasily did not want to be in the Soviet Union, right? But a lot of people say he knew something, right? And if he knew, which is why you see in the movie, knows Vasily is staying here. He's staying in the Union.
Yep.
They wouldn't let him out of the Union at all. They kept giving him, like, shit jobs and fluff jobs, but he was trying to drink himself to death, and they said that whenever he'd get close to, they'd always go and someone would always bring him back, and he'd be put back to work. They're like, it's like a lifelong punishment. It's like he knew something. Stalin's daughter was absolutely oblivious to everything.
And we don't know how true that was in reality, honestly.
Oh,
but
no.
in the movie, it's made very apparent. It's made very apparent in the film, at least, that she knows some things about her father, but she does not know the depths of what her father has done or what the Presidium is involved in, to the point that Khrushchev makes a point of just sending her away, separating she and her brother, and sending her away and being very firm that, no, you're leaving.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think she's the one who got to leave because she's the one that could keep a secret about everything that happened.
And she also barely knew anything.
Yeah, whereas her brother would, just blab and start conspiracy theories, because we saw him do that throughout the movie. But when Stalin died, one of the things that came up was them, the kids constantly being told, no harm will come to you. It's all like, well, they're related.
And it's because that's a political maneuver.
Oh, yeah,
absolutely.
because, they were related to Stalin. Stalin's now dead. They don't have any protections. They're just relatives.
But the thing is, too, they knew that because the populace had been so conditioned, they knew that either one of them could be, if they hadn't screwed things up so thoroughly, at least Barry hadn't moved so quickly, that either one of them could have been a fucking just, like, without equal, a bargaining chip or a means to promote any one of the Presidium into, relevance, into a, looking like the genuine article. Look, the children of a Stalin stand with me.
There was, when the daughter first turned up, everyone was out walking in the woods. They saw her arrive. They all were running to be the first.
And the comment was, the race is on.
Yeah. So to give her a hug and then give a speech about how devoted, a daughter she was, and how much her dad would be missed, and they're just all tripping over each other, interrupting, just to try and get a word in.
There was a conversation before the funeral that really just kind of puts the whole thing into perspective, probably in the quickest, easiest way possible.
Roosh.
No, not that. Slim Hitler. What Khrushchev referred to the funeral director as. No, it's when they're outside, and I forget which one of the other Presidium members, but they confronted Khrushchev because they saw him and the other guy talking in the woods. He's like, "You'd better be careful. There's bears out there, Nicky." And he just looks him dead in the eyes. He's like, "Yeah, well, there's bears in here too."
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like everything, like someone who escaped was talking in like just after the fall of the Soviet Union. They said that they turned around and they said, "Oh yes, even the snow has ears."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But talking about the funeral, when they get Vasily together and they have Stalin, they bring they committed Stalin's autopsy in not effectively, it's a shed. It's a fucking white shed.
I should explain something before that. Before they get this together, while they're still at Stalin's bedside, there's a discussion of getting him a doctor.
Yes.
Oh,
And
brilliant.
because Molotov and Beria had decided that the majority of doctors were scheming to poison Stalin, they had gathered up the doctors through this one woman. I can't remember the name. I believe Beria referred to her as Lady Suck-Suck.
Lady Suck-Suck.
Because apparently she'd done a lot of things to save herself when the other members of the medical fields were being gathered up, which included basically selling almost all of the other doctors out. But they had to get a hold of her because they're like, well, we need to get him a doctor. And then Beria and Molotov are confronted about them having gathered up all the good doctors and executed them or sent them to the gulags.
Yeah.
And so the one, I believe it was the transportation guy's like, well, then might I suggest that we get a bad doctor? And then they argue about it, and Nikita said something to the point of, well, either we get a bad doctor and he does it right, and then we realize we found a good doctor, or we get a bad doctor and he doesn't survive, but he's not going to know about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Farb, her name was Lydia Timoshuk.
Oh, yeah, that's right, okay.
Now, that was all part of the Jewish plot, which they had... Because the thing is, they hated the Jews as much as Hitler did.
Oh, yeah.
And so it was essentially a carryover from that. It was just an excuse. Now, what was funny was just them carrying chairs. Like, go into the kitchen, go. And did you see the chef kind of twirled around when he was trying to find the kitchen?
Oh, yeah, because they weren't supposed to see... Nobody was supposed to see that. That's why you saw them randomly screaming at people coming out to see what was happening.
Yeah.
And those people would have been gone probably within a day if they were lucky. Because they'd seen it.
Oh, my God.
Well, we saw that when the body was carried out of the house,
Mm-hmm.
it was on the truck on the way out.
Yep.
And suddenly the special forces were in, and they were executing the staff and ripping out all of the fixtures.
The NKVD were on standby.
Yeah.
Yes.
Beria was already making moves to lock down the capital.
Yes.
Like not even a day after Stalin had died.
Cancel all the trains and block all the roads.
Cancel the trains, lock down the entrances, which of course was the issue we had where go ahead.
I think that Beria, it wasn't just to keep everyone away. I think Beria knew what was going to happen. I think Beria planned a massacre.
No. I don't think so. Because that was, if you remember the big argument they had, Beria was, if you remember when they said they needed to make a scapegoat of some of the security forces, and Beria's response was, you fucking idiot, I am the security forces.
Yes.
So I don't think that's what he wanted, because that brought too much focus on him.
True.
And which is exactly why Nikita and Zhukov actually did it.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Zhukov fucking hated him. Everyone hated him. But, so, they were in the shed with the doctors, because they were rounding up the doctors, and the doctors said, what happened to my dog?
And I'm pretty sure that this part was fabricated, because like you said, Vasily hated his father.
Oh, yeah, Vasily hated him.
So I think his response was done purely for a comedic point.
It was. But what we do know is he did storm in. I don't know how goofily, but he did storm in and started screaming at people for the treatment of Stalin's body.
Yeah.
I think that what they did... So when they brought Stalin, Stalin woke up. And it was funny because he was pining for water, and they're like, "No, it is the goat."
So the problem is that
Yeah.
they go through all this spiel with these doctors, and they finally admit that he'd had a hit. They have to give the clipboard to the woman because the old man's too scared. And she yanks the clipboard from him, explains that he had a hemorrhage, and then Beria gets right in the doctor's face, and he's like, will he survive? And the old man's like, no.
Oh,
And Beria is already off trying to make preparations, and then he gets up suddenly. Beria barely contains his fucking rage at Stalin waking up again. And then they go in there and they're trying to, make it look like no one's got any ill feelings about this. And the old doctor's trying to explain what might have happened, why he's up again. And there's that moment again when nobody's paying attention where Beria leans in. He's like, I won't forget this.
oh yeah.
To that doctor. And then they're going through that. And then the one member of the prison comes back out and he's like, he's dead.
Oh yeah.
And they had that whole spiel where he got up briefly and he's pointing. And because where he's sitting, it looks like he's pointing at this fucking painting across the room from him.
A child
And
hugging
so,
a sheep.
yeah. And so now the proceeding is going on this big stupid to-do about what he's pointing at, which ends up becoming this debate about the milk of socialism or the people being the lamb or Stalin being the
saying
lamb.
he's the lamb.
And then
is beloved by the people.
Malenkov was talking about like no he's like obviously he's like it's the milk of socialism, and then he stops, he's like, or maybe he's the milk, and the other guy's like, maybe you're the tit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe he just wants a drink. Oh, and they
Get
had
him some milk, just not
not
in a
from a cone. The fact that
Not
they
from
had
a
to
horn in a
specify-
glass.
Specify not from a horn because they would have brought him in a horn.
And the one guy's like, no milk. Bring water, and not in a horn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just, oh my god, I fucking love this movie. Now, the funny thing about Stalin's accent is they had a Cockney actor play him.
Okay, so here's the thing, because I looked into this.
Yeah.
It was decided because there were different dialects and accents in Russia, the directors decided they would just use a largely British, Irish cast, because if they could use the different dialects speaking English, it would be much easier for the audience to follow than a bunch of different accents and dialects with translated subtitles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's something that's been used in movies, for many years. You just say everything in English, but say, well, obviously we're in, Germany or Switzerland. I mean, The Sound of Music is supposed to be entirely.
And
done
I
in
mean, like,
German.
there are movies that do it that way.
Yeah,
I mean, like, if you've seen The Longest Day, that thing is subtitled all to hell every time the Germans are on the
Yeah.
screen.
The man in the High Castle
But-
doesn't use English when anyone is speaking their native. Oh, big stretch. When anyone is speaking their native language, they
Yeah.
use. But I don't know the name of the movie, but I really like this transition. Right? Someone there, two of the actors, they put their hands up, they say HH. The greeting that they did.
Yeah.
Right, they're like, Guten Tag, they start speaking German. They walk through the door, camera cuts through, right, and goes, what's the reports? Well, sir, the reports are coming through. Switch to English, just like that.
yeah.
Well, the thing is, too, a lot of Germans could actually speak English.
Oh, well, yeah, but I mean...
but
I
they
don't
did
think
It's
tend
designed
to.
to make it easier for the viewer. Okay,
Yes.
but the example that jumps into my head is we had a
Jetstar.
comedy show here called Allo Allo,
Oh, I love that.
where everyone, they spoke English, but with a French accent.
Yes.
But you had English people who were sort of like, the resistance. When they were speaking English, they went from French accent to going, okay, chaps, here's the mission. And when you had English people attempting to speak French, they'd be doing it with a French accent, but pronouncing all the words wrong.
Yeah.
So you could tell the difference between who was English, who was French, and who was just attempting to speak it. And the Germans had, the German lilt.
The good
As
thing
well.
about LOLO is they had a Nazi officer, right?
Yeah.
Who used to never say HH. He'd always go dip dip or something like that.
Yeah.
Reason is, it was a Jewish actor who had lost family in the Holocaust. And he said, given to my family and my people and faith, what we have gone through, he said he can't say those words. So the director said, it's a comedy, make me laugh. So he'd always go dip dip. No explanation as to why in the show. So back to the death of Stalin.
Yep.
And I still do attest his coffin did look like a King Cornetto.
It's that stupid viewing window.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So they were trying to arrange everything for Stalin's funeral. Everyone get
And let's call it like it is. Even the funeral arrangement was massively political because when you remember the whole stupid spiel where they're basically rearranging the presidium positions.
Yes.
You can make it look like
And Beria deliberately supported them putting Khrushchev on all of the funeral detail stuff.
yes.
Just to annoy him. Purely for the sake of just being an asshole.
He's like, I got too much to do, but I've got 3 things to do. You surely can handle 2.
Yeah, he's like, well, I'm doing 3 different jobs. Surely you can handle 2.
But when they wanted to switch positions, he goes, we can make it look official. So you
Yeah.
can talk to someone, right?
And he's like, moved because Malenkov wasn't having any part of it. And so he just starts doing it anyway. There's that brief moment of silence where he's standing in front of Malenkov and he's like, what the fuck are you doing?
It just moves back. But the funniest thing is, when they tried to find Malenkov, that's the guy who succeeded Stalin, the first guy. When they tried to find Malenkov, the girl, what? I want the girl. Okay, so we'll get your girl, like the picture. No, I want the girl. What? I want the girl. You can't have, sir,
Yeah.
she's grown up. Like, she's
So it's a famous picture of Stalin and
And then just to stir, and if you remember, just to stir the pot, because he's getting annoyed, he goes over to the NKVD officer. He's like, you're the NKVD. He's like, it's your entire job to find people, so find the girl.
Okay. And when they find her, she's like 12,
She's
13.
much older. She
Yeah.
doesn't look anything like she
I was
did.
like, oh no, not her. Just find a girl who looks similar.
Chocolate, look, no higher than
And that was
chocolate
Khrushchev. He's
on
like,
your
can we? And Khrushchev pops in because he's watching. He's like, now can we just please go back to my idea of finding a girl the right age that looks the same way?
Yeah, oh god, you can see Nikki developing. Nikki developing a fucking ulcer every single scene.
Well, because they left him dealing with that like OCD fucking funeral director.
Rouge, no rouge.
And like as they're walking in, they catch him. And he's like, "What makes you think I give a shit about any of this?"
When they were one of my funniest parts is when they were taking the photographs, and they don't. Your man is saying, "Hold on," and looks up, takes the photo, and then he gets his portrait done, and he goes, "So which one?"
Oh, I like he's sitting there going back and forth. He's like, "I would like that one destroyed."
Yes, sir. And the one they use for his official portrait is actually the official portrait of the real guy.
Yeah.
And
And I love that scene later in the bathroom where Zhukov stops and he looks at the portrait. He's like, Jesus. He's like, Georgie's eyes really do follow you.
He's looking back and forward. I must say, those uniforms did fucking look smart. Like that deep black. I am a fan of like deep black.
The button thing, where they had to hook the button up.
Yeah.
Push the button. Push the damn button. Where's the
Oh,
damn
yeah,
button?
because they had the whole plan.
Yeah.
So after the mess with the trains, I'll explain that briefly.
Okay, so we'll go and talk, because that's a very important part.
Yeah, and that's kind of where things start unraveling for real anyway. There's already been scheming going on, but this is really what starts the ball rolling. On the day of the funeral, the official day of the funeral, because everybody's so conditioned, everybody in Russia wanted to come see Stalin's funeral. And Beria had shut down the trains. Well, the trains were Khrushchev's domain, and Khrushchev didn't appreciate that, nor did Zhukov appreciate the fact that Beria had gone behind his back, removed all the Red Army from their posts, and sent them back to the barracks, and replaced them with the NKVD. So Zhukov and Beria went behind his back, or not Zhukov and Beria, Zhukov and Nikita went behind his back, and Nikita had them freaking open the train so that everybody would come in. Because as Zhukov said, the NKVD were not cut out to deal with that many people.
Oh, yeah.
So, sure as hell, when everybody came off the trains, the NKVD got pissed off and panicked because there were so many people just trying to get in. And when people started jumping the barricades and the barriers, they started shooting. And it was reported, at least in the movie, it was reported that 1,500 people had died at the entrances to the Capitol from the NKVD, which is where then they started talking about where they need a scapegoat, and Beria got pissed off when they were talking about implicating one of the heads of security. He's like, because I am security.
But here's the thing, though. They said reopen the trains, but they never said tell the soldiers. They never informed the soldiers what was going on. You'd hear one of them, are they meant to be here? No, they're not. Are you sure? I don't know. Just fire.
And it's because, at the very base of it, is because if somebody had informed the NKVD, then Beria would have found out before the trains ever opened.
Yeah. But they could have at least told them to move from the barrier, something. You'd think.
So you end
that
up...
wasn't their orders. They had their orders, and...
That was to keep everyone out.
Yep, stick with the orders.
And the thing is... Yeah, exactly. And the thing is that was what really spurred things on. It was what motivated a lot of them to finally go, okay, because that was when Beria had his conniption fit and started pointing fingers at everyone and reminding them all the information he had about all of them. And basically just put a big fucking target on his back in the process.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, but if you look at it subjectively, right? The funniest thing, and to show how little they cared for Vasily, was during his speech when he was sitting there. He was sober. He was getting clean. He was. You could see, I think, happy, right? Sitting on the bed with his legs crossed, reading a stupid bear speech.
That horrible fucking
We are Father, we are the Cubs, and Ukrainian Cubs, and Serbian Cubs, and Croatian Cubs, and he just walked out as he was... I'm like, did he just write down every single state within the Soviet Union and write Cubs beside it?
Yes.
Yeah, but to make it better, as he was giving the speech, that's exactly when they planned to fly over.
Yes.
You couldn't hear it anyway.
And I don't know if that actually happened, but if it did, that would probably be the funniest part of that entire thing. If they actually did that.
Ow. I think it'd be fucking hilarious if they did. Give me a second, go and look something up. Fire, could you just point something cool out or something?
I don't know what you're doing, but... Well, I'll get back to the main thing, which was... That was when the other Presidium members finally started plotting behind Beria's back. And the problem was, initially they thought the problem was going to be Molotov because he was so die-hard. But Molotov had seen enough of the cracks that it, at least in his mind, was a threat to the system and to, the hierarchy of things he was used to, so it spurred him to enough action that he was willing to conspire with them as well. The issue then became Malenkov, who Beria had basically put in power, because he knew he could manipulate him. So that became that issue, and they were trying to figure out, because Zhukov's like, look, the perfect time to do this would be during Stalin's funeral, when all of the army is going to be here with their guns in the capital.
Yeah.
And so they planned for it during the ceremony, now that all the people are going to, be here for it. But he's like, everybody has to be on board. He's like, I mean, everybody. And Khrushchev's like, we may have a slight issue with Malenkov. He's like, no. He's like, everyone.
Yeah.
Or we're not doing it. Yeah. And Molotov had the same stipulation. Everyone has to be on board, or we're not doing it. And they get to the point where everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing. They've set up during the ceremony, there's a buzzer on the wall, which is meant to alert the troops when they are supposed to storm into the Presidium's meeting room. And what it is there's a button underneath the table at the head of the table where Malenkov is sitting. So they go through all this, they get in there, and Beria starts his whole spiel where they're talking about who they're going to scapegoat for what happened at the gates to the Capitol. And because he couldn't convince Malenkov ahead of time, because he wouldn't listen to him, they're going. Khrushchev just starts reading the charges they have against Beria, which is confusing the hell out of Malenkov. It starts an argument. Beria tries to hijack the subject back and claim that Khrushchev is being, I forget what the hell he called him. Basically, he was just trying to upend things.
Traitor.
Well, more or less.
Yeah.
It was something to that effect. And things come to a head because they're all arguing and yelling. And Nikita just goes over there and he like climbs over the side of the table over Malenkov and just starts smacking the shit out of the button. Uh-oh, what happened?
Dog needs help.
Okay. So he starts smacking the crap out of this button, and that's their signal, so... Stop. Zhukov had snuck a pair of AK-47s in under his greatcoat, and he pops in the thing, he's like, here's your dates for the evening, gentlemen. And I like the one guy's like, I'll take the tall blonde. And so they bust in with the two rifles he smuggled in. They're holding all the Presidium at gunpoint. They start going through the charges, the whole spiel. They drag him off into the bathroom, and there's several statements about how Beria belongs there because he's such a piece of shit. Yeah. While they're more or less just kind of making sure everything's great, because they have to sit by and wait for the main force of the NKVD to leave the capital as they were ordered after the funeral. And then the Red Army comes in. So they're doing this whole bit, and then they drag him to basically this shed, more or less. It's like a storage room, I think, at the bottom of the building. And they're holding the makeshift trial and many, many charges, which, to be fair, probably some of them were also guilty of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of charges, some of which I think were actually bogus, because I don't think Beria was actually making any foreign deals, but that was one of the charges, that he was making foreign deals against Soviet interests. There were several charges, obviously, of sexual assault, which were true.
87 charges of sexual assault.
I think it was like 14 charges of sexual assault against like minors.
Yeah.
I don't know how true those were. At least some of the younger ones. I don't know that for a fact. We do know he was very predatory and had many, many children that weren't from his marriage. But they have that whole bit, and then they're dragging him outside, and there's this whole struggle where he's finally started freaking out. Because initially, when they grab him, even Malenkov eventually kind of turned on him. When they're like, blah, 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 and he's calling him out, and then Malenkov's like, he's got a knife, under his pant, on his ankle. And Nikita finally makes him sign it while they're arguing about it. And he's like, I want it noted. He's like, I want it noted that this was not my my first choice of actions.
Yeah.
As if it mattered at that point.
Yeah, agree.
And they're dragging him out, There's this whole big fight where they're dragged for execution. And one of the Red Army soldiers, while they're dragging him out, his pistol goes off, and there's this moment of silence, and Zhukov kind of glances like, oh, well, that's done with.
Yes, Beria got shot in the head accidentally on the way out.
Yeah, on the way outside.
Oh, that's it then. And then
he's like, yeah, that's done then.
Yeah, Molotov then covers him in petrol and sets him on fire.
Yep.
Well, true to his name.
Well, yeah, they covered in petrol, and then Zhukov just took and just chucked his whole fucking Zippo lighter in the fucking petrol.
And Nikita just cussing at him as he burns, as his body burns.
He's like, I will bury you in history, you fat fuck. Which is an interesting play on the quote from Khrushchev that everyone's heard of, where he says, I will bury you.
Yeah.
I'm back. Sorry about that.
Welcome back. Let me bring you up to speed. You missed nothing. You're back up to speed.
Okay.
We've gotten to the impromptu execution of Beria already.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
We accidentally executed him before we even got him outside.
I mean, yeah, that was the whole point of it. And then they're like, well, that was the job done.
I think what they were hoping for was to actually up against a wall and everyone take a pot shot.
Yeah.
You know, actual firing
definitely.
squad. But to have a gun accidentally go off and just shoot him through the head, it's all like, oh.
It's just another layer of absurdity to the entire mess.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's the whole black comedy is just a lot of it is done for comedic effect. Some of it is overblown. But it's the mere fact that so much of this, even if it was, lower key, actually happened because the organization as a whole was so barely held together that it only took one thing to just cause this massive upheaval and this disaster in the upper power structure.
Now, I told Kusri to read this. There's an entire section on Wikipedia, historical accuracy and saying the inaccuracies of it.
Okay.
Molotov was not the foreign minister when Stalin died. He was sacked in 1949, but became the foreign minister after Stalin's reshuffle. The Marshal of the Soviet Union, not Field Marshal Zhukov, was a local field commander when Stalin died. Now, having been exiled to the provinces due to Stalin's paranoia and jealousy of him, he became the Deputy Minister of Defense post-Stalin government and was not the commander of the Red Army in 1953. This was held by his longtime rival Ian Kovenoi. The two characters were matched together. It had been held... Yeah, so... Let's see. Khrushchev, not Malenkov, shared the meeting to reorganize the government post-Stalin's death. Lasnier has never served as the Minister of Labour. He was a commissioner of transport, heavy industry and fuel distribution, while also holding roles as Deputy Premier. Beria was arrested 3 months after Stalin died, not almost simultaneously. It was not participated by the East German. It was participated by the East German uprising of 1953, not a fictional massacre of Moskvans, which was based on an incident where at least 109 people were trampled to death during the funeral. He was executed 6 months after being arrested. Beria had not been head of the NKVD security forces since 1946.
Nice.
Svetlana was not sent to Vienna. She remained in the Soviet Union, working as an academic and translator before defecting to America in 1967.
That's even funnier, actually.
Becoming a naturalized citizen of the United States in 1978. The scene showing the complete liquidation of the personal of Stalin's stacker was completely fictional. Let's see. The film Vistelli and Antonia are seen at a practice of this state ice ring, which had been depleted due to a recent plane crash, which officially did not happen, but happened. So, yeah. So, what would you give the movie? How many comrades out of comrade?
It's brilliant comedy playing on historical events, but like we discussed before you even listed it off, there's a ton of inaccuracies.
Yeah.
But I think it was more meant to play on the absurdity of the fact that any of the events, what is happening?
It's for you.
Hello?
My bad. Sorry.
No worries, buddy.
But it was meant to play off the absurdity of the fact that any of these events did happen. And for all I know, the inaccuracies may have been deliberate. I don't know. I'm not the director. I'm not the writer. I know there is a book this is based on. So I don't know if the book had these inaccuracies or if it was something that the film...
The book was a comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm saying I don't know if when they translated the film, if it was meant, to have these inaccuracies or if they were already in the book and if the author of the book did it on purpose because so many of these people were kind of interchangeable.
So from what I'm seeing, the book was a comedy not based on reality. It was mainly based on reality, but also based on what's funny.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, that's why the movie works, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Plus, so Beria had a special spot for killing gay people and Jewish people. So they hired a gay Jewish actor to play him. Which is absolutely hysterically funny. Plus, they said a couple of the people, like the older people around, were actually around during the time of Stalin. Like, I'm talking about the really old people, like the doctors and things like that. And they're like, oh, shit. Like, they had actors line up who, when they're like, oh, cool, what role? No, I'm not playing this guy. It was actually really hard to cast it. For the smaller parts. Like, for some reason, they tried to get a load of Russian actors, right? But the Russian actors would not play it out of anger, not towards the film, but they're like, no, I'm not showing any...
I don't want to be... Yeah, it's like, if you live in Russia now, you don't want to be affiliated with that.
Yeah. It's absolutely fucking insane. Well, but Jacob, do you have anything coming up?
I'll be doing Stagecoach on my show Tuesday. Then Wednesday night I'll be on Tomby's Hump Day, then Chinwag, and then Thursday I'll be on Roman's from the Empire Show.
Hold on. If we're doing it,
we're doing the Octagon. Chuck Norris, the Octagon.
What are you guys doing?
Hi, I am not the Internet Help Desk.
And I'm not Tater.
I thought you guys weren't going to do this fucking bit.
Listen, we've been sitting here for an hour. We at least do the joke that we originally set up to do.
Exactly. By the way, Fire, what do you think of my house? Don't mind the mess. That is Babushka. Babushka got confused in old age.
Yeah.
Your accent's rubbish, by the way.
1950s Soviet set-up house.
No, this house is listed as post-Stalin house.
So it could be anywhere. It could be anywhere in the early 50s on. Then
that's a washing machine, but no bedroom. So
you're lucky if it's post-Stalin. You're lucky it has a washing machine.
I sleep on the couch. He sleep in the bathtub.
I've slept in a bathtub before. Isn't it comfortable?
You're fucking weird. But Fire,
I didn't do it. I didn't do it by choice.
As I said, you're fucking weird. You like to sleep on a rock underneath a pit.
No, a rock is a bit much. Okay, let's don't get ridiculous.
Okay, sorry, curled up into a little ball. Fire, do you have anything coming up?
Yeah. So Monday, the Starship Troopers Ultimate Bug War won the poll again. So we're going to be doing that for the Monday stream. I'm not putting that on the poll again for a while. We're probably going to be finishing it anyway. I think we're on like the last planet.
Yeah. Okay.
Sometime, I don't have an exact date, but sometime in the next couple of weeks, my brother and I are going to be, a long time ago on the channel, I think a year or two ago, we were playing that game called Double Dragon Gaiden, and we actually had a lot of fun with it. We did a whole episode, set of episodes on that. They did a big expansion for it recently that we found out about, so I'm going to see if we can arrange a night, an extra night where we stream, and we're probably going to play that at some point.
Okay.
Because they added a bunch of more characters to it.
Yeah.
Nothing beyond the normal stuff at that point. This particular month is kind of for my brother and I, because we're not wild about our birthdays. So.
Do you want to explain about what's going on with TFT?
I'm going to hold off on that until I have an exact date or something I know. But there may be a change on our schedule as far as recording TFD based on something I heard. But that could be a year from now. It could be a month. I don't know. So until I know, I'm going to stay low on that.
We're also adding in space engineers into the mix and trying to build. I found out something ridiculous.
I will call that tentative because I haven't decided how I feel about that yet.
Yeah. Help desk, what about you? You got any plans?
No.
Okay, well that's the end.
That was quick.
Thank you.
No, I mean, aside from the normal streaming with, the rest of the Remedial Pirates team, several random gaming streams available on my YouTube, and I also do stream over on Twitch. The Internet Help Desk plays. So, Twitch is just the Internet Help Desk. YouTube is the Internet Help Desk plays. So, like and subscribe to all of that.
Absolutely.
Because I'm awesome. And go see Death of Stalin. It's available on streaming. It's actually, this is one bit we glossed over. It's directed by a guy called Armando Iannucci. If you watched British TV during the 90s and early 2000s, you would have seen comedy, satirical, political shows by him. So him as a director for this is an
So he's
incredibly good choice. He did The Day to Day, for anyone who's ever seen that.
very British.
Very British.
I will see you guys on the next stream. Next weekend, we are doing, and we're hoping to have more people, Galaxy Quest.
I will let you know if I can make that or not by then.
Aren't I adorable?
I'm just
You
getting
guys
I should
stop
be
for
able to do that.
fuck's sake.
Hello, I am not the internet help desk.
And on that bombshell, it's time to say goodnight. Thank you all very